kind of like, I don't use the trainers. I don't use any of the classes. I don't use anything really. I've spoken to hundreds of people who are like, I would have bought this already if it wasn't for that $50 a month. Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. So are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll. Rock and roll.
Cool. All right. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to introducing you to one of the awesome subscribers of this channel. Everybody, this is Lillian. Lillian, this is everybody.
Hi, everyone.
So everybody, me, and just to give you guys some context, Lillian and I have been in contact over the last couple of months. She's been one of the amazing subscribers of this channel. I'm very privileged to say. And so we have a really awesome video plan for you guys today. We want to give you a perspective from an actual Tempo user who actually moved to Tonal. And I thought this would be a great idea, and Lillian thinks it'd be a great idea, because I think this would be beneficial to a lot of people, considering the fact that, you know, a lot of people are up in the air about these two units. So
Right.
yeah, maybe Lillian, I would love to get just to know like a little bit about you, considering I don't know you all that well. Maybe you can tell us and everybody, you know, a little bit about yourself.
Okay. A little bit about me is my background is in acting, and right now I work at a creative business that everyone knows of by its parks. But in terms of fitness, my background in fitness, I used to work out with my mom to little like VHS tapes on the television. We do aerobics together. And then in my adulthood, I was a bodybuilder at the gym, and with my boss, as a matter of fact, we were close in age, and we would just go work out all the time together. And so from there, I moved to that was in Texas. I moved into New York, and I continued working out. Here, I was in such great shape at the time that even the trainers and the salespeople at the gym at Valley Fitness here, they would show me to their new clients and new potential members, because I was in that great a shape at that time. I was doing kickboxing, weightlifting, spin classes, etc., constantly. And from there, you know, life happens, and I just lost that level of fitness, but I was determined to always try to, you know, eat clean as best I could and stay somewhat fit for, you know, someone who's a little older now. And so, and so that's what I've tried to do over the years. And that's my background in fitness. And most recently, I'm a member right now of Equinox, a commercial gym, and I have a gym that's available in my building for free.
Wow. Oh, wow. That is awesome. So, but first of all, I got to say, it is so cool to be talking to somebody who is like seasoned when it comes to bodybuilding, because there's so many people out there who are like, Tonal is not for bodybuilders, not for people who know what they're doing. There's so many people, you know, I get asked on a daily basis, and you might too, like, you know, is Tonal good for me? Because, you know, I use real weights, and it's like, well, this isn't a toy. You mentioned a little bit older. You mind if I ask your age, or?
I don't like to tell
You don't
my
have
age.
to. Don't feel pressure. You look like, if this puts you at ease, just so you know, you look like you're 30. So I don't.
Well, thank you. Checks in the mail. Checks in the Venmo.
What caused you to want to purchase a Tempo?
So simply the gym's closing, right? And so I initially, when that happened, I tried to get everything I could. At the time, it was very difficult to get any type of weight resistance equipment. So I went with a cheap treadmill from Amazon, and then I had exercise resistance bands. They just were not equivalent to lifting weights for me. I wasn't challenged by that. And I also got some weighted jump ropes. So after all of these options, when Tempo became available, I looked into it, and I looked at other options, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I decided, you know, this has this looks like furniture that goes with my surroundings, and it has a small footprint somewhat. And I like that it does not look like a gym in my living room. When you couldn't get weights anywhere else, that was the only place, honestly, at the time that I can get them at a reasonable price. Now, I take it back that you could get weights, but if you wanted to pay a premium for them at that time.
So
Wow.
so you didn't even buy Tempo for the fact that it had trainers and like form tracking.
I definitely didn't need that.
Okay.
I didn't mind it, you know, it came with it, of course, but I definitely didn't need that.
Okay.
Even though I say, and I take that back, you know, even though I say I didn't need it, I took advantage of it. Sometimes when I had bad form, I was bending back a little bit, for instance.
Okay.
I was like, okay, fine, you got me. You know, I'll think about that.
Okay. So as far as that form tracking went, and I don't know if you used any of the trainers like classes or anything like that, but as far as that went for the Tempo, did you find it to be pretty good? Was it a decent thing that they were selling to the public?
I think so, but the part is that you have to be 6 feet away from the camera or something like that. You have to face it. So you really had to position yourself in order to be tracked by it. At one point, I bought a bench to go with this, so for chest exercises, and it just, sometimes it would track me and sometimes it wouldn't.
Okay, cool. That's
so I think it's good for beginners. I really do think it's good for beginners to kind of get, I think it's accurate.
As far as Tempo went, we kind of, I guess, delved in, you know, why you chose that over some other options, because you kind of had no options.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Well,
Please.
but I did choose it in terms of other options that I did research.
Okay. Okay.
I did research others. I did research Tonal and Jack's Jocks.
I'm just guessing that you didn't go with the Jack's Jocks because it's gigantic.
That and the digital weight. So both Tonal and Jack's Jocks, I was hesitant because of dependency, 100% dependency on digital weight, digital functionality. You know, that kind of deterred me initially. And that's another reason I chose Tempo.
Gotcha. Yeah. Because you're not, yeah, with Tempo, you're using free weights basically, and you personally didn't need the trainers. So you just needed the functionality of the weight equipment. So if the power went out, you were fine.
I was fine. And I did have a little bit of a hiccup with Tempo one time, and I was so happy to have that one in my head. I was like, wow, you know, if I had one of those others that I looked at, I wouldn't be able to work out.
Your experience, just to brush over it, it was good with Tempo. Your experience was good, right? I'm assuming.
Let's see here. For the most part,
okay.
For the most part, I like again, I like the freedom of free weights, the ability to do traditional gym exercises that I would normally do with free weights. The quality of the accessories were amazing, and the price point was pretty good. I had already paid it off, so it was that was a nice thing. But I didn't like the rep counting technology. So what happens is that the instructor, you're pretty much working out almost like in a live class setting, and they do have live classes. That's another good thing. They have a lot of live classes. But even if you're doing a pre-recorded class, let's say the trainer starts and he's like, we're gonna do 8 reps. And when he starts 8 reps and when he finishes 8 reps, that aligns with the counter in the app.
Okay.
And so if you're at the 7th rep, when he's at the 8th, it completely stops counting.
Oh, wow.
Now, discrepancy, that was, I haven't used Tempo. I stopped using it about 3 months after I got it. I got it in January of this year. And so I realized it wasn't for me early on. But they may have come out with new software, firmware updates that have changed that. But this is from my perspective for when I was using it. Okay. And so, yeah, that was a really big problem for me, because if I'm paying for it, I want the reps to be counted based on what I'm doing, not the instructor. And changing the weight plates, okay? You can't do drop sets, pyramid sets. And for those that don't know, that is when you take, let's say you're going from light to medium to heavy when you're lifting. So you may lift 12 light, 10 medium, and maybe 8 or 6 heavy to just challenge your muscles. And that's one set. And so if you wanted to do that with Tempo, because the weights are all plates, you would have to change out those plates. That's a lot of changing of weights. So that was very time consuming. And every time I had to do that, it made me just wish I had chosen Tonal in the first place. And also when you're in the middle of working out, let's say you're doing, you know, your shoulder raises, this, and I'm fine initially with the weight, but then it becomes heavy. Well, I'll have to stop what I'm doing and go change those plates. Once again, it goes back to that. The classes, I did not find them challenging for me, even their advanced ones. I found maybe one or two that were challenging for me, considering my background in weightlifting. And the main one that drove me to the tonal was the danger of doing squats by myself. So without a spotter. So one class, the instructor said, you know, lift it up and put it over your shoulder. I was like, wow, I don't know that that's wise for me, for a person that does not have a spotter.
Right.
So.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a huge, yeah, that's huge. That's a really big deal. Good. And is that like the extent of what the bad was? At the extent of what you didn't like?
Yes, and to their, you know, to their credit, there are some accessories coming out that address some things like doing squats without a spotter. So they are coming out with a squat bar, and they're even coming out with a bench, but that's down the line. So it's supposed to come out this July, and it hasn't yet. So
Okay.
I tried to wait.
Right, right. And I mean, and at the end of the day, you're kind of piling in more equipment into your place. So
that too, and the purpose.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I know with me, like when I purchased the Tonal, as you might be aware already, as a lot of you might be aware, I wasn't really interested in the trainers, wasn't really interested in a lot of the stuff. I was interested in the fact that it was so space saving and powerful. So it's like, you don't even know you have a gym. It's just incredible. You know, the heavy compound movements, Tonal kind of has you covered. Was there anything else that made you kind of veer towards Tonal when you decided, okay, this is it, I'm kind of done with the tempo? What was like the absolute deciding factor in you saying, all right, Tonal, out of all the other stuff that's out there?
Because I was following one of the classes actually, and we had about 3 movements in that class. And for 2 of them, the weight that I chose was fine. For one of them, it was like a little too heavy. And I didn't want to change it mid. It just took up like an hour of time. So a 40-minute class would turn into an hour, and I work out before work. So I'm very much on a strict schedule.
So you actually sold your tempo?
Sure did.
Okay. Okay.
And today I sold the last remaining. I sold the tempo about a month or so ago.
Okay.
And then I sold the last remaining weight plates today. So
congratulations.
I only have the welcoming package. The towel, the water bottle. That's it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So how was I'm just curious, how was the resale? Was it easy to sell?
No. No one was interested. Everyone was like out of state. And yeah, the only person I got was locally in another borough.
Okay.
And it was very tough because you're showing something very large in your home. The person has to come into your home. They're a complete stranger. Right. And a lot of people also want to talk it down a little bit. So, but the person I sold it to turned out to be a very nice person. Because of the type of building I live in, I was able to get help taking it down. So it worked out.
Okay.
But it was a challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, cool. So when you purchased your Tonal, how long was the wait?
Okay, so I have the exact dates. April 3rd of this year is when I ordered it, right after trying it at Chelsea Market in person.
Okay.
And I immediately felt challenged, came home on April 3rd, 2021, and put it in order. Got it delivered and installed on June 3rd, 2021. April, okay. March, May, June, yeah.
That's not too bad. That's not
at all. April to June.
Wow, that's really good. I mean, I guess Tonal maybe picked up the kind of streamlining the process maybe. So you actually tried it out before you bought it. So let me ask you, if you didn't have a way to try it out, I'm just curious, if you didn't have a way to try it out, would you have purchased it and been like, all right, I just hope this works?
No, not at all. In fact, despite everything about tempo, the gym around April had, in my building at least, had reopened, and with some restrictions. So I was kind of getting used to tempo at this point, and I figured out maybe I can find a way to make it work for me. It was all paid off. I was like, I don't need the tonal after all. But I had this appointment to go see it in person. So I thought, let me honor the appointment. I'll just go. Why not? And ended up like ordering that same day. I was like, oh, have to sell the tempo.
That is crazy.
Instant love with tempo. Yeah.
That is awesome. And so yeah, you have a gym where you live and it's a free gym, but yet you still chose to buy a tonal.
Yeah, and your channel had a lot to do with that. You know, watching your progress and your just advancement and your fitness goals and transformation, as well as your information that you shared. And I watched a lot of that prior to going to try it out. And they were like, "Oh, you already know things." I'm like, "Joy."
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the support. Oh man, I'm so happy. Every time I hear somebody say that the videos helped somebody to make a decision, it like makes my day, because I was just saying to one of the other subs the other day who hit me up on a private message. They said, I love this thing. I'm so happy I got it. Thank you so much. And I said, I'm so grateful to hear that, because every time I promote it, there's always something in my head saying, well, everybody's different. So somebody
Right.
might be upset with it somehow, some way, even though I think it's like 0.5%, but you know,
Right.
it's possible. But okay, cool. So I'm so happy to hear that the videos helped you. Thank you for that. And I gotta ask, you have a gym in your building. Is it because of those heavy compound movements that you decided I'm not going to stick to my gym in my building? Or and purchase the tonal, or like what was the deciding factor between your actual free gym downstairs or wherever you are, or on the roof, wherever you are, and the tonal? What was the deciding factor between those?
Okay, well, the free gym, the free weights, or the free access to the fitness center in my building, at that time still had restrictions,
Right.
strict restrictions, 3 people at a time,
Okay.
things that made it difficult to work out. And sometimes people did not honor, at that time, they were not honoring those restrictions. Once they were in, they would do what they wanted to do. And so I didn't feel as safe down there. I also, even now that I have tonal and the access in my building, I use the access in my building for the cardio. And I love being able to come home and just use tonal. It's like, it's great. I see people going into the weight room and I'm like, bye, finish my cardio.
Nice. That is so cool. That is so cool. I said it in a recent video. You have a full weight set up until 200 pounds on your wall, and you don't even know it's there. It's just miraculous.
I got a Peloton temporarily, and someone, the delivery people came in and they said, "Oh, she has a mirror." I'm like, "No,
No.
no." And I say, "Tonal, let me let you try it." So I
Oh,
let them try it.
that is so cool. When I moved from Brooklyn to Queens, the
Yeah.
moving guys were like, "What is that thing? Is that why you look the way you look?" Like,
That's
what
awesome.
that's exactly what he said. The guy's like, and you know what was impressive? That guy was big. And
Well,
I'm looking at him like, even this guy who like obviously hits the gym sees the
uh-huh.
potential in this. So that was so cool. All right. So as far as your installation, I can only assume your installation went perfectly, like quick,
Yes,
no problems. Okay.
no problems. One guy came in, I thought there would be 2 because I've read about there being 2 and that the machine is heavy. I was a little nervous when he picked it up by himself, but I acted as his assistant a little bit. So it worked out perfectly and he was very nice,
Okay.
went smooth.
And was the company XPO?
Yes,
Okay.
everything was right on track.
Okay. Awesome. That's good to hear. That's so good to hear. So gotta ask, I see it on your wall. Is this a living room? Is this a bedroom?
No, this is a living room.
Okay.
We try to do a little tour here.
Beautiful.
So this is a living area.
Beautiful, beautiful. That is gorgeous. It like amplifies the beautiful space that you already have.
Thanks.
It's like art.
There you go.
What has your experience been like with tonal, and are you happy that you made the switch from basically free weights or from the tempo to the
Yeah.
tonal? And also, along with that, I gotta ask, is there anything you don't like about it?
So far, so good. But it's working out really well. I think I'm seeing results already. I'm very happy with the change. I'm happy that I sold my tempo. I think it was very much the right decision, and I'm okay with the risk of that I was the hesitancy that I had earlier. I'm okay with that risk because it is one. It's all digital, so but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, definitely. If the power goes out, you won't have anything unless you have, you know, free weights hanging around in the corner or something like that. So the experience has been good so far. You're happy that you made the switch.
Mhm.
Is there anything about tonal that you don't like so far, or something that maybe you can foresee being a problem, other than, I guess, the power going out and you not having any
Yes,
accessibility?
some of the moves, like I said, the skull crushers, that's a little odd to me to do with the handles. My wrist, when I first started and was getting familiar with the machine, as it is a, it has a small learning curve. The first time I think, or second time I turned on the weights with the handle, it the weights kicked in really quick.
Okay.
And I wasn't prepared. And so my wrist got a little sprained a little bit. It was a minor sprain.
Okay.
From there, I knew. And even now, even knowing that now, let's say I'm working with the bar and I have to go out and push that little thing to turn on the weights, the button,
Right.
and get my hands back in place really quick so that I don't, injure myself with the weights kicking in. I think that if there was like some type of update in the software where they can just have a little delay on that, or if they'll allow the user to determine that delay, I think that would be a nice update.
Wow, that is such a great idea. Seriously, like, yeah, let the user determine maybe 3 seconds, 5 seconds.
Right. To get into
Wow,
place, especially for certain exercises.
gotcha. I'm so glad you said it. I'm so glad you said it. It's on the internet, so Tonal has to do something about it now. Oh man, if that was true though, we wouldn't be paying a monthly subscription anymore. So, okay. So is that kind of the only thing that you can foresee until maybe they fix it being an issue, or is there anything else that you don't?
The only other thing, while I like the quality, I think it's like commercial grade in many ways. There are some concerns. I do feel that parts that are plastic are vulnerable. I'd like to see the durability over time with the arms and the springs that I hear. I do the maintenance once a week, actually. They tell you to pull out the cables, so I do that. But I've only had it since June 3rd, and already I'm kind of feeling that there's some things going wrong, like the one of the arms comes down really slow, like it's kind of stuck, as though there's not enough grease or something, oil, or to move it up and down. That only happens once in a while. And when I'm doing certain exercises, the digital weight comes on by itself. And one time I didn't notice it, and I went to pull down something in order to attach one of the attachments. And I was like, wow, this is difficult to pull down. I realized the weight was already on without my turning it on. So that doesn't happen too often. It happens, even the arm getting stuck a little bit. It doesn't happen very often. If it reoccurs, then I'm going to, let them know about it. But it's just a little bit of concern having only had it since June 3rd.
Yeah, definitely. I have heard somebody talk about the arm kind of getting a little bit stuck once in a while. You probably tried this already, but if not, I just want to recommend what I recommended to that person, and it fixed it for that person.
Okay.
When you bring the arm up and down, do you hold the outside of the arm, the part that's, so for example, hold the lever with one
Okay.
arm and then bring the arm, like support the arm with your other arm. If you were to bring the arm down without supporting the other part of the arm that's coming out where you attach the handle, it's going to cause an imbalance in weight and it'll kind of drag.
I see. I'll be aware of that next time. It doesn't happen all the time, so you're right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, let me know like in the future if it works. And also with the skull crushers, I wanted to say, did you try to use the rope instead of using the handles?
Oh, no.
Okay,
Sure.
maybe that'll help, maybe not.
Okay. Okay, I will try it. I normally, you know, with the experience of bodybuilding, I wasn't planning to use the classes, but it's in the package. So I'm really enjoying a few of them that are really challenging me and making me want to cry. You know,
Nice.
I love feeling challenged that way. I really do. The reason I'm doing some of the classes is because I want to try things in order to learn about tonal and what it has to offer. And I also just want to get away from my normal routine just to see what happens to my body
Right.
doing what they're suggesting. After that, once I'm more familiar with it, I'll probably just, you know, do my own freestyle.
Yeah, that
Like you
makes sense. That makes sense completely. Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So the classes have been challenging to somebody who has been put on like a pedestal by a gym. The classes
Yes.
have been challenging, which is awesome to hear. So once you take what you can from the classes, you're going to kind of move on more than likely, unless you want to kind of like keep it fresh once in a while.
I've tried some of the free, like the freestyle lifting and everything. So it's good. It's just that I like to learn new moves that they
Right.
have, and that's really cool too. And so the only thing I'm not like legs. I know that you showed a little bit of the leg extensions and that you've done. I as a result of your video, I also bought some attachments so that I can do some leg extensions. But I do have that machine in my apartment. I mean, in my building. So when it comes to legs, I find that a lot of the connected fitness machines do lack in that area, in my
Right.
opinion, unless you're really creative. So that's fine. I expect that a gym will have more leg options, in my opinion.
Right. You kind of got to like work with it in certain aspects to
Yeah,
like make it work. Yeah. It's true.
exactly.
It's definitely true. Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, you got to make it work. I mean, to have I think we both agree to have like a full-blown gym on your wall and you don't even know it's there, it's kind of worth some substitution.
Yes, exactly.
$50 a month. $50 a month.
Uh-huh.
After the first year, they're forcing you to pay the 50 now. After that first year, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any yet? I know it's early still.
It's fine for me because my gym membership is a commercial gym, and that's Equinox. It's very expensive, so $50 in my case was not a problem.
Okay.
It is a little. I can understand the other side where a lot of gyms right now, even commercial, it's month to month. They don't obligate you to pay 1 year in advance, or 1 year. I'm sorry, to be obligated to 1 year or any time period,
Right.
and that's just the norm now. In the past, you did have to sign contracts with gyms, but not now. And so I can understand that being an issue for some. Right away, you owe, you know, $50 plus the machine. So I understand.
A lot of people will hit me like the old gym that I used to go to. I was paying 15 bucks a month. It was Blink Fitness. And you know, it did everything you needed it to do. As far as that goes. When I got Tonal put on the wall, I was like, this thing's amazing. I don't mind paying the 50 a month. It's all good. And it is all good. It's 50 bucks a month. If I couldn't afford it, I wouldn't have bought it. But now that like time has passed, it's been over a year since I've owned the machine. Something that I personally, it's not that I can't pay it, and kind of like I don't use the trainers, I
Mhm.
don't use any of the classes, I don't use anything really other than eccentric mode, and it's like I kind of feel, even though I knew what I was getting myself into, I kind of feel like, all right, Tonal, it's time for you to change change the ropes, change the rules, give it a tier system, because there's like I've spoken to hundreds of people who are like, I would have bought this already if it wasn't for that $50 a month. They should make it a tier system or something.
I agree with you. And I did watch your video about that. And I remember now that you're saying it, and I do agree with that. Gym next door to me, I mean, there's a commercial gym and it has a pool. all I want is the pool. But I would have to pay $250 a month for the entire access. I don't need it because I have Tonal. I have a, you know, treadmill here in my building, and I just need the pool. And but because there's not an option, I'm just not going to join it at all.
Right.
So lose complete all of my money instead of getting some of it. And I agree with you there, especially when you mentioned in one of your videos about this, that you will lose a lot of the modes. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's,
Yeah.
don't pay the subscription.
Yep.
So that's unfortunate. And I think I agree with you that there should be a tier system for that, because there was a time when I was doing some of the exercise, one class before I did an Action Jackson. I'm not going to say the name of the person because I respect them all, but this one was not actually challenging, and it kind of reminded me of tempo. And so I was a little disappointed, and I thought, you know, I don't want to do these classes anymore, but I've paid 3 years. And it wasn't until his that I started to appreciate it again. But I may get to a point, like, you know, like you said, after a year or so. It's only a few months for me. But yeah, where I'm like, okay, now I've learned everything I wanted to learn about the machine through these classes, and I am done with that, and I just want to use the machine. And I'm still paying the same price for the whole package.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. So I'm just curious. That's all I have on my end for like questions, and I really appreciate your time. I'm sure so many people will find this to be helpful. And is there anything that you want to throw in? Anything you feel like you want to say, or?
I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your this session that we're having. I'm grateful and appreciative, and honored to be interviewed by you. I respect everything that you've done, and I just tell people, like, you're just very friendly, and no matter what people say about the machine, and they have a lot to say about it, sometimes not so nice, and you just continue to be friendly to everyone in the comments, and I just think that that says a lot about your character, and that you've moved so many people, you've changed so many people in the sense of just your sharing, your free time to share so much about this that actually impacts people's lives. And I think that's amazing, and thank you.
Wow, thank you. You just made my week. Thank you. That means so much. Yeah, I wish I could express to you in words what that means, but it's right here. It's right here. Oh man, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything, Lillian.
Thank you, Joy.
All right, look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.